Man, what a day. What a day. Welcome back to another one of these Around the Sound, CSS's version of, a daily wrap up in Seattle professional sports, hoping to get the other versions of it going. It's a busy day. It was a busy day Friday. It is now, we're at midnight. It's 12:22 in the morning, June 28th. Busy day today as well. But Friday, June 27th was a busy day as well. We'll get into it. Excuse me. Because there's at least, let's see, two, four, it's like seven teams that had some sort of news to go over the course of the day. So we'll get into it. And we'll go by order of the teams that played, and then we'll go into the different pieces of news there. There's four teams who played today. In the Orcas, the Mariners, the Cascades, and the Storm. Three wins out of four games there, which is nice to see. Everybody likes to win, of course. Not everybody can do it. But yeah, and then three teams who had news, really mainly two, but figured we'd include one because there's a technicality. So we'll go over it. But yeah, so we'll start with the Seattle Orcas. So the Seattle Orcas are Seattle's cricket team. They play in the league, Major League Cricket, which is in its third season now. Um, the plan is for the Orcas to play in their own cricket stadium in Seattle. It's like if you paid attention to the UFL, that football league that plays in the spring where it's decentralized. So um, not decentralized, but they play in like home locations. They have the names of cities, but their teams don't actually play in those cities. Like when the Seattle Sea Dragons played when they last existed in the UFL, they played games at Lumen Field, but they would like fly to Seattle and then fly back to Texas because the league had like a main base in like Arlington. That's where they had a training center and all that. So their like home base was in Texas, but they'd play in Seattle. The Major League Cricket's done the same sort of thing. They've played a bunch of games and like I think tonight's match was in Dallas. They played a this year there was a few games played in the Oakland Coliseum, funny enough. Yes, where the Oakland A's played, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I believe the plan is next year or the year after that for there to be a cricket stadium in Redmond. I believe is what I've been told. I've tried to get official word, and I'm still going to work on that and hopefully provide some more Orcas content on here. But they started off the day, and I have to give you some backstory. The Orcas in the first year of Major League Cricket, 2 years prior to this season, made it all the way to the championship match for this league. So they were in a championship right away, just like the Seawolves. Their first 2 years, they won Major League Rugby's championship back to back champs. Um, Orcas didn't win. They fell, I believe, to New York, who they played today. I could be wrong. But the last 2 years they've been very disappointing. They didn't win many games at all last year, and they were on a 10-game losing streak coming into tonight's match. It's still a long shot for them to make the postseason. They're going to need to get on a winning streak. I believe there's only four matches left after tonight. I'll double check that so I don't give you false information. But it's less than a handful, right? So things need to get going for them. No, it is four. I was right. Nice. So things were bad. And unfortunately, and I'm sure there are some fans who will agree with this, but I'd seen their captain, um, Henrik Clausen, saying after these losses this year that, oh, I thought we played well. We're right there. And just some matches where they were embarrassed. And I'm just like, I don't agree with that. Um, and so this morning they announced a midseason leadership change to sort of reignite this third season campaign. Again, they started the year off 0-5. They parted ways with head coach Matthew Mott, citing differences in coaching and management strategies. Henrik Heinrich Clausen, just stepped down as the role of captain to focus on his abilities as a batter. Um, so that was interesting. My friend Nick and I had kind of talked about that potentially being a thing. He does pay attention to the Orcas, so he would know that sort of thing. Um, International all-arounder Sikander Raza took over as the captain. Some extensive international experience and cricketing intelligence, make him a good fit there. Himant Dua, who's the CEO of the Orcas, said that this is a moment of reflection and renewal for the Seattle Orcas. This has been a tough run for the team, and with it, some difficult decisions had to be made. We're grateful to Matthew for his commitment and professionalism during his time with us, and we wish him the very best in his future endeavors. We respect Heinrich's decision to step down voluntarily as captain to focus on his batting. So pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, to essentially fire your head coach the day of a match and name a new captain the day of a match is not easy. Um, so New York was batting first in this one, and they put up a pretty good lead for Seattle to have to come back to, which was not great. I know I've done sorry, I keep wanting to say Seawolves Orcas videos before here and there. And we got a lot of very helpful people who explain cricket to me, and I will need that still. Um, but they needed 238 to win in this one, which is a big number. This is a big number that Seattle needed to come back from. And we have a fan on Blue Sky who follows the Orcas and basically said they're going to lose this one. The winning streak will push to 11. My friend Nick also said, hey, they're going to lose again. There's no way. So yeah, they needed 238 runs. And they were able to do it. Sikandar Raza, Seattle's new captain, batted well in his first eight balls. Um, yeah, he did pretty well. Clausen, day after stepping down from captain, batted pretty well. And then the big story here tonight for this game for the Orcas is the man whose nickname is Hetty. His full name, um, lost it, is Shimron Hetmeyer. Okay, Hetty, huge batting performance in this one. The Let's see if I can find the stats here. Again, you'll have to bear with me. It is not my first, sort of sport to know. But he had a great batting performance that essentially put the team on his back. Big clutch batting performance, snaps the 10 match losing streak, gets Seattle their first win of the season. Um, the Orcas turned out the second highest power play score in Major League Cricket history at 86 runs. It's the Lexus power play if you want to include the sponsorship there. The 238 7 um, win is the highest successful chase in Major League Cricket history. So they broke a record tonight. Um, yeah, Shimron Hetmeyer, player of the match, 97, five fours, nine sixes. Um, the numbers are good. That's the point here. Hetmeyer did talk after the match. This is one of the best wins because our backs were against the wall, and I'm still grimacing over the last game where we couldn't cross the line. Today is one of those days where I went with a clear mind and wanted to take the game as deep as possible. Hey man, you did it. So yeah, Seattle don't know how they did it. I mean, it's a great win to add to Seattle's professional sports today. Um, See if I can find them. I mean, Seattle was in the. I mean, like started the season 0-5. Of course, they're going to be at the bottom of the standings, but they defeat New York, which is pretty cool to see. Always like beating New York in anything. Um, Trying to get the Major League Cricket standings to load if it wants to cooperate, which it does not. Major League Cricket standings. I was looking at it last night. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, New York is the there are three teams who are 1-5 in the league now. New York is one of them. So yeah, I don't know how the playoff situation works. Major League Cricket playoffs format. Thank you. Oh, so everybody makes the playoffs. No, no, four match. Wait, I am confused. It's not totally important right now because Seattle, I still should focus on trying to get some more wins, I'm sure. Um, is it gonna tell me? Yes, it is the top four teams. So, hey, I mean, with this win, Seattle's in it because the other two teams are 1-5. So that's pretty remarkable. So, yes, very cool for the Orcas to get that victory. Historic, big comeback, a lot of change in the organization, obviously, as I mentioned. So that was the Orcas. Will continue over here to the second game of the day. Second win in Seattle professional sports as the Mariners started their three-game road series to continue the current road trip, 10-game road trip, ahead of starting a new homestand on Monday. So I mean, this is a big one. They're all big considering the Mariners, they're trying to gain ground on the Astros. The Mariners have played some decently good baseball in recent memory, but they haven't been able to gain any ground on Houston because the Astros decided to learn that they can win, even though despite the changes they've made and the injuries they're currently suffering from. So this was a wildly crazy game. Um, the Mariners actually had taken a pretty decent lead um, over the course of this one. They were kind of chipping along, like little smaller sort of things to get them going. Jorge Polanco singled in the first to score Julio. Um, but in the bottom of the first, Corey Seager hit a solo shot to right field to tie it. But then the Mariners scored 2 runs in answer. You say, okay, this is nice. Jorge Polanco again drives run in, but he grounds into a force out to score JP Crawford. Randy Rosarena hits a sac fly. Um, Julio, grounds out, but it scores a run. So they're 4-1. The Mariners scored 4 runs in answer. Sorry, top of the six, wild pitch by Cole Winn scores JP Crawford. And then things go not so great starting in the bottom of the sixth inning. Marcus Simeon doubled to score Josh Smith. Adolis Garcia singled to score Sam Haggerty. Yes, former Mariner Sam Haggerty and Marcus Simeon. So it's 5-4 at that point. Logan Gilbert gets taken out of the game. Excuse me. Uh, you know, cleans that inning up is Carlos Vargas. Gabe Spire, though, in the bottom of the seventh, I believe it is. Um, Sam Harity singled on a line drive to center field to score Josh Smith to tie the game. In the top of the 10th, yes, we had to go to extra innings. How wonderful. Donovan Solano singled on a dying line drive to left field that just sort of died before a diving Ezekiel Duran was able to catch it to score ghost runner Dylan Moore. But in the bottom of the 10th, Andres Munoz unable to, get the clean inning and get that save there. Garcia, sac fly to right field, scores Sam Haggerty. Yes, former Mariner Sam Haggerty pops up a lot in this game. Um, then in the top of the 12th, we should say in the bottom of the 11th, the Rangers were in walk-off position. They were ready to win this game. Miles Mastrobuoni makes a remarkable catch. It's a very difficult catch. He came in to play third base. It's a really hard catch he had to make. I'd include this, but I don't want to get like copyright strike. This is video rights. He makes a pretty remarkable catch. Oh, it might come out on the screen there in a minute, so I hope I don't get striked for that. But to basically get him out of the inning to the offense in the top of the 12th. Then Miles Mastrobuoni singles to left to score Randy Arozarena, who just gets under a tag at home plate. Yeah, it's going to come on in a second. That's funny. And gives Seattle the winning run. Edward Bizardo pitches 2 very dangerous innings because he walked 3 batters in his 2 innings. He's been a productive reliever for the Mariners. He can just be scary as hell because of the walks. And it like he somewhat reminds me of the Fernando Rodney experience. He just doesn't point an arrow after saves. So yeah, Bizardo comes in, throws a second clean inning. The Mariners get the win 7-6 to get the first win of the series. They can knock on wood. Get a series win if they get the game tomorrow, which is at 105. And yeah, they're not gaining any ground, unfortunately, because Houston just has decided to not lose games lately, which is wildly annoying. Uh, yeah, they're 8-2 over their last 10. They're on a 5-game winning streak. How fun! And the Angels are right behind the Mariners. They're 2 wins behind the Mariners, which is so annoying. At least the Mariners are technically in a wild card spot right now. They hold the final wild card spot over teams like Cleveland, Los Angeles, the Anaheim, Minnesota, Texas, Boston. There's two, 7 teams that are like right underneath you for that final wild card spot. Toronto's ahead of you by 2 games, and Tampa Bay's ahead of them by 4. So, well, yeah, that next game for the Mariners is tomorrow at 1:05. We go over to our Seattle Cascades, and our Seattle Cascades. I think the more interesting and the more entertaining thing about them is that their home games from here on out will be played at Interbay Stadium. They had been at Memorial Stadium, but obviously, uh, M- Memorial Stadium's finally undergoing renovations, courtesy of the Oakview Group. Back on the 26th, there was actually sort of a send-off night for Memorial Stadium, I think hosted by the Kraken because of the Oakview Group. The Oakview Group owns the Kraken. Okay, you're following along. Um, and the Cascades and the Tempest, the women's ultimate frisbee team, had both called Memorial home, but with Memorial finally actually undergoing these renovations, they have to play the rest of their home games, I think, until renovations are done at Interbay Stadium. So they hosted the Colorado Summit today, who, the Summit aren't that much better than the Cascades. The Cascades have had a rough go of it this year. I believe the Cascades were in championship weekend um last year, and they're 3-7 this year. Ugh, terrible. So if we go to the Ultimate Frisbee Association standings in the Western Division, yeah, Colorado with this game actually moved ahead into second place in the division behind Salt Lake. Seattle sits at fifth in a 6-team division. Jesus. And 2 of their wins have come against the Vegas team, who is 0-9 this year. So they're not having a great year. Um, I really wanted the Cascades to win because then it would be a perfect 4-0 day for Seattle professional sports. I don't get what I want. Um, but I mean, for a good amount of this game, the Cascades were in it. Um, you know, it was tied 8-8 at the end of the first period. Seattle led by 2 going into halftime. I felt good about it then. They were down by only 2 at the end of the third quarter period, so I felt good about that. This game ends up going into overtime, where the Cascades lose by 2 there, 24-22 to the Colorado Summit. So their season's essentially all but over. Being that far down at the bottom, it's just unfortunate that they were, in championship weekend last year, and this year they have not. They've just been their defense has lacked so much. They've given up such easy points at times. I've caught a few of the games, or at least the end of games, and it's just so close, but not quite. They're a team that isn't able to win the close ones. So um that's unfortunate. So yes, that is them. Their next game. Let's see if I can pull this up. I think they've only got 2 more games left on the season. Yep. Oh, they play the Summit again on the road. But it takes a little bit, not until July 18th at 7 o'clock Mountain Time in Colorado. So we will continue along here to the last game of the day for Seattle Professional Sports. Our Seattle Storm hosted the Connecticut Sun at Climate Pledge Arena on Pride Night. It was the last game of a 3-game homestand. It's Pride Night for the Storm. I can 1 second. You'll see with this new camera I got, you can see like everything, so you can see my shoes on the ground. But they had the Storm Pride flags, which are cool to see. I gotta find somewhere to put this. Oh, it's kind of you can tell it's a cheap flag. Um, yeah, Storm Pride Night. They were hosting Connecticut, and Seattle after that Fever game that was so frustrating to lose, a game they really shouldn't have lost. They're looking to bounce back, and this is about to be a tough stretch of the season. This road trip's going to be a difficult one. You play Golden State, who has been pretty decent this year. They're sitting right below Seattle in the standings at sixth best team in the WNBA right now. Um, They go and play Atlanta, who is one of the best teams in the league, have MVP candidate Alicia Gray. You play the Liberty, obviously the reigning champs last year. Um, oh yeah, and then you play Connecticut again, who, they are the worst team in the league right now. But I mean, no team in the WNBA is easy to beat. Connecticut came into this game having only won um, two games. Yes, two games. And this loss unfortunately kind of piles things on for them. It's their eighth straight defeat. It sets a new record for the franchise's longest losing streak. The Sun have also lost three straight games by 15 plus for the first time in franchise history. So all things considered, it's like, yes, don't take anybody lightly, but also you need to handle business. And as I talked about with our storm writer Christian, my friend Christian, on the Storm post game report that I will start editing as soon as I'm done recording this. Um, this is they handled business, right? Seattle, four or five starters in double digits, five players in double digits in total. Neka Gumake 16 points, Gabby Williams 16 points, Ezzy Magbagor 12 points, Skylar Diggins, um, the lead scorer in this game, 24 points, looked great from the start. I'll talk about her in a second. And then rookie Dominique Malonga with a career high 11 points. So I won't talk about it too much. You can check out our Storm post game report episode of this game to get the full, sort of breakdown with that, more analysis there. Seattle took care of business. Yeah, Skylar Diggins did a great job starting this game hot. Last game in the post game press conference, Skylar and NECA were hot. They were like, "Hey, we need to be better for the fans, for ourselves. We know we can be better. We got to own this one. And, you want to talk about leading the way. Um, you want to talk about leading the way and setting an example. Skylar Diggins did that immediately. Made our first four shots. Um, was big offensively for Seattle to get that 24-point scorer. Yeah, that catch, that Miles Mastrobuoni catch. Look at it. You can kind of see it. There you go, running backwards. That's incredible. Anyway, we're on to the Storm. She had a great game, 24 points, five assists, one rebound, one steal. Should be an all-star. There should be no debate about that. Nekagumake, 16 points, 10 points in the third quarter, a 30-point third quarter for Seattle, where they really pushed ahead. At one point, Seattle's lead was at 31. Helped push ahead, 16 points, four rebounds, one assist, one block for NECA. Yep. Gabby Williams, Gabby and Ezzy Magbagor were massive defensive stalwarts in this one, and that's no surprise. Gabby 16 points, eight rebounds, leading the team near a double double there. Seven assists, near a triple double because of that. Four steals and a block. Four steals. Remarkable. The WNBA's steal leader right there. Ezzy, nice game from Ezzy. In the beginning of this game, it was Skylar, and then the next player who really showed up to begin the game was Ezzy. 5 for 6 from the field for Ezzy, 12 points, five rebounds, three assists, one steal, two blocks for the Aussie. The lone player to not score in double digits in starters was Erica Wheeler. Not the best shooting game from Erica Wheeler. 2 for 9 from the field, 2 for 7 from three, 6 points, but five rebounds, six assists, two steals. Still found a way to contribute across the scoreboard. Zaya Cook played a good game, 24 points off the bench, minute leader off the bench for Seattle, 9 points, one a rebound, two assists. Kind of all over the place, helped give some of the guards a break there. Dominique Malonga, career high, 11 points, showed off her offensive bag pretty well, five rebounds, one assist, one block in this one. It is really fun to just watch her, the different ways she can score the basketball. She's able to cut into the paint, drive in there, still kind of working on her strength, and that'll come. But, you know, um, working on that. Some of the pull ups she has, Noelle Quinn said at post game, or it might have been Skylar. They might have both talked about it. But when Dominique Malonga at 6'6" rises up, there are not many other players in this league who will be able to truly guard her and get a hand in her face to disrupt that shot. Mackenzie Holmes gets her first 2 points in the WNBA. 2 points on one attempt from the field, one rebound, one assist, and one block in this one for Mac. Very cool to see. And then the other bench player, Alicia Clark, not the greatest game for AC. 17 minutes, 0 for 2 from the field, one free throw made, so she had 1 point. 4 rebounds, 1 assist. So 4 boards, can't complain about that. Seattle's next game is on Sunday on the road to begin that 4 game road trip. Golden State, Atlanta, New York, and then Connecticut. So funny. Um, they close this homestand against Connecticut. They close the road trip that's upcoming against Connecticut, and they've been in the next homestand against Connecticut. So, um, let me just make sure I was right about that 4 game road trip. Yep. So there you go. That is it for the Storm. Oh yeah, Sunday against Golden State on the road. Local TV is going to be on the CW Seattle, 5:30 tip off for that game. So, um, oh yes, okay. We go over here to our Seattle Kraken, who today, oh well, the 27th was the first day of the NHL tree draft, the first round of the draft. Um, mm, 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 Seattle held the eighth overall pick. It seemed like they were going to stay with that pick. I would have been surprised if they had not. So they go, um, with the eighth overall pick. They go with Jake O'Brien, the centerman, Jake O'Brien, from the Brantford Bulldogs in the OHL. Um, he's an interesting player. I was kind of curious to see what Seattle would do here. Um, sorry, I'm trying to get. Oh, that's annoying. Uh, sorry, I'm trying to pull up my. I had to write about this. Because it's funny enough, the Kraken made this pick right as the Storm were holding their pregame press conference. So they're asking me, "Is like Charles, you have a question for the press conference?" I was like, "No, I have to get this pick out." Um, all Seattle sports all the time. Uh, the last 2 drafts, last year when they took Berkeley Catton at eighth overall, and this year where they take Jake O'Brien, I thought Seattle would go defenseman, just because the amount of forwards that they have in the prospect pool. I thought, hey, you have a lot of up and coming forwards. You don't necessarily have that many highly touted names defensively. So I thought, and maybe selfishly because of the Thunderbirds connection, I thought that Radim Murtka would be a good option here for Seattle and the Kraken, but they opted not. They went best available, and they took Jake O'Brien, a Toronto native, a centerman from the Ontario Hockey League's Brantford Bulldogs, as I mentioned. Um, he comes from a cool pedigree. His mom, Amy Turek, was a one-time women's player with the Toronto Arrows and Canadians national squad, so that's pretty cool. O'Brien's 6'2", 172 pounds. Last season, he scored 32 goals, so the 32 is fun. 98 points in total across 66 games. The year before, he was the OHL Rookie of the Year, which was pretty cool to see. Um, mm, 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 mm. Trying to see here. So yeah, it's interesting. The Kraken have picked a centerman in the first round, 4 of their 5 drafts that they participated in. Edward Shawley is a winger, and he's who they took in 2023. So he's the lone exception. Beniers in 21, Shane Wright in 22, and then Berkeley Catton last year, of course. He's the second former OHL rookie of the year that they've drafted in the first round. Of course, Shane Wright also owning that pick. It's kind of funny getting him on the media Zoom because you could tell that another team was using it for their draft pick to talk to their media. And so poor Jake O'Brien's sitting here looking at the laptop at all of us on Seattle Media Zoom. Um, some of the things he asked about what he knew about Seattle. He did give props. He said the organization's been so well run. RJ with Emerald City Hockey at the draft. RJ and Dylan are at the draft in Los Angeles at the Peacock Theater. Said he knew this about the Seahawks. I guess he's a Seahawks fan. So just like Jordan Eberle. Jordan Eberle didn't grow up in Washington, but he was a Seahawks fan. So that's great. O'Brien was asked about playing wing. because obviously so many of the forwards that they have right now in the system and that they've acquired this week even with Frederick Goudreau and Joe Valeno, not John. Um, I hear Goudreau and I want to say Johnny Goudreau. Rest in peace. Excuse me. He said, yeah, he's played wing before, and with the talent um, that O'Brien possesses, I don't doubt him. He he's got really good vision, is the sense that I get from O'Brien is watching him and reading what scouts are saying about him. He's got really good vision. His shooting and his skating will probably need to take things up a bit, but his hockey sense and his IQ will help him have an edge over other forwards uh, on the ice so far. So, um, you know, I don't know. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the take the best available. I know some folks are confused about the plan. I get it. Truly, I do. It's why I called our buddy RJ, and the most recent video on our YouTube channel is this "What's the plan for the Kraken" that I did with him. So, yeah, there is that. Excuse me. Um, and there is the old hockey adage: is you can't have too many centers because they can also play wing. So, the other piece of Kraken news that came out, the local media was able to meet with Jason Botterill right after the draft um, had wrapped up, and I think after the first round. Um, and I wasn't able to do that because I was at the Storm game. And I'll have to go through the recording here after this. But he was asked about Philip Grubauer and the plan there because the buyout window is currently active. It's active for 2 more days after today. And Botterill said that they don't plan on buying him out. And they said that, with maybe new regime, with Colin Zulianello, the new goaltender coach who came up from Coachella Valley, who Grubauer previously praised after he spent that stint in the AHL. They said they believe in him having a bounce back, essentially. So it's great. Phil is a great guy, great human being to have around. I believe he gets a really, really hard rap from a lot of fans and from some media who don't maybe watch the actual games. Um, but it just kind of tells me, which RJ from Emerald City Hockey and I talked about in this most recent episode that's on our channel, on the TSS channel, is that the Kraken don't expect to compete this year. They don't expect to contend. Ouch. Someone's going to comment that that's the world like telling me otherwise. But goodness gracious. Um, whoa. Uh, if they were going to compete, you know, there was a quote that Bottsville had to King Five, it's Brianna Vasquez the other day, that they don't expect to be aggressive in free agency and that they, like more getting their talent from these trades that they've made lately. And I'm sure they'll make more. And there's not a bad practice generally, but it also tells me they're not going after Marner. They probably won't go after like an Ehlers or a Besser, which is fine. Um, but yeah, it tells me that they know that the current cleanup for the situation that Ron Francis has put them in will take a few years. So expect a transition year this season, Kraken fans. So it's not the worst thing in the world. So we'll hear more of the next few days. Obviously, tomorrow is the rest of the draft, so we'll have to talk about that as well. Um, we'll keep it rolling here with rain news, and I say rain news. This is the one piece of like news, but rain forward Jordyn Huitema is with Team Canada for this FIFA international window. Um, Goodness gracious. Sorry. Oh yeah, you can see it. Excuse me. Um she was available as a sub for Team Canada, but I don't believe that she actually got into that match in a 4-1 victory. So not too much to say there. I mean, I'll look it up. Oh yeah, Footmob doesn't even have it listed. Nice guys, thanks. Are you guys awake? I guess the only other piece of rain news, and I can share this, is um former Rain forward and current West Seattle Roadies in the USLW League coach Ziara King was at the Storm Pride match tonight with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe. Caught up with her after the game, just generally, and Z's always been such a great human being. So great to see her around. She seems happy. Yeah, she seems happy. She seems like she's taken some time. And she seemed excited to go to Switzerland to cheer on Jess, just Fishlock and Wales. So that was really cool. We'll wrap it up with the Sounders. The Sounders play today, but if we're basing it off of the 27th, tomorrow against Austin FC. We'll go over the injury report because it explains something I'm going to talk about. Obviously, Paul Arriola is out with a knee injury because of his season-ending injury. John Bell is out, but not due to injury. Yamar Gomez Andrade is still out with the hamstring injury. Sue Hawkins is out with a quad injury. Kim Key, he's out with a calf injury, and Nuhu is out with is not injury related. So Seattle is down. Oh God. 6 players in total if we're counting Paul in a season-ending injury, but not counting that, 5 defenders and 4 that can play center back. Okay. So it's going to be Jackson Reagan back there and Alex Roldan. Yes, Alex Roldan is going to play center back tomorrow. Um, yeah. So it'll probably be like Reed on the left, Jackson, Alex, and at the center back spots, and Kalani Kosrienzi on the right. I like getting Kalani in there. I'm a big proponent of Kalani, as you'll hear on our Founders Weekly show, Soundwaves from the Sea, with Michael Martinez and Owen Murray. But I should text them about this actually. Yeah, this is bad. And they're playing off Austin. This is not a small match either that the Sounders have. They play an Austin side that's right below them in the league table, in the Western Conference table. Sorry, as Seattle comes out of this little break where the Club World Cup was taking place, and will now look to continue their strong, performances that they had, even though they didn't get any points from their matches into league play, where they're trying to climb up the Western Conference table, and they were looking to do before that last stretch, before the break into the Club World Cup, where they lost to Minnesota and lost to into Vancouver. Sorry. Could have gained some pretty valuable ground against those two clubs who were two of the top teams at the top of the Western Conference. But yeah, they're in this four-way tie points wise. Oh my God. San Jose, LAFC, the Sounders, and Austin all are at 26 points in the table. Seattle has bumped down to 7th in the league table. Austin is 8th. God. Yeah, so you're going into a match you'd certainly like to win, having lost your last 2 league matches, and down to 1 healthy center back. So that's it for Around the Sound, CSS's daily recap show of Seattle professional sports. It is not great. Not great. So yeah, man. Until we see you next time, we'll probably, considering the amount of things that are going on tomorrow, I believe, I wrote about it actually in our weekend forecast I'm trying to do that as a thing, is like, have a weekend thing, what's going on over the course of the weekend. Saturday. Oh yeah, there's the Lenny Wilkens statue unveiling that'll be at 11. The Mariners at the Rangers, so game 2 of this series. The Sounders match. And then in the morning there's the Championship Change Pickleball tournament. Previously they've done the Championship Change basketball game, but I think this year they're going to pickleball instead, which is kind of disappointing. There surely won't be enough promotion around it. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed another Around the Sound. And until we see you next time, take care of yourselves, be well, and do whatever you can to make today a great day. Hey everybody, Charles Hamaker here from Circling Seattle Sports with
Jen Barnes from Rough and Tumble.
Jen. What is Rough and Tumble for Circling Seattle Sports?
your home. The home for Circling Seattle Sports.
I like it. Let's do one more take, just a little bit. Mix it up some.
Hey there, everybody. Charles Hamaker here from Circling Seattle Sports with
Jen Barnes from Rough and Tumble.
Jen. Where's the home of Circling Seattle Sports?
Right here at Rough and Tumble.
Hi, Charles Hamaker here from Circling Seattle Sports with
Jen Barnes from Rough and Tumble.
glad to join you here from Rough and Tumble, home of Circling Seattle Sports.
I love
Okay.
Up that out, Chuck. Okay, I'm ready.
Hello, everybody. Charles Hamaker here from Circling Seattle Sports with
Jen Barnes from Rough and Tumble. Start over.
I forgot what I was saying.
I think you waved in the first one.
We did at the end.
Oh, at the end. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, cool.
You just couldn't see our hands.
And now it looks like you're holding your hands, so that's kind of weird.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually have a little room to come this way, too.
Okay.
Just no further than that.
Yes, Lieutenant Dan.
And go.
Oh, I think this time I'll ask you, what's the home? Where?
Yeah, say, where's the home of Circling Seattle Sports?
Okay.
And I'll be like, right here at Rough and Tumble.
Hand good?
Yeah.
Yeah, your other hand, put your fingers together just a little bit more. Not like that. There you go. It was just like,
Oh, you got me?
okay, I'm still recording, so go ahead.
Okay.
Start when you're ready.